on, people. We're back. What are we?
Late one.
Feb 21. We're 10:30, mate. At night, we're doing this one. We don't mess around. We're trying to get the schedule right, but we're messing it up so far. Not a huge week in MMA. Locally, very big week.
Yeah.
Very big week locally. That Apex on at the Diamondback. So that was Saturday night, which was a really, really good card, a good show. Pretty impressive, not going to lie. And then they had the UFC Sunday in Australia, Saturday in the States, with some good fights, with a big shocking knockout. I'm not sure if you were able to watch any of them, but I caught the main event. So not too much going on in the world of MMA this week, but plenty to talk about. Rick's apparently got something big for me, so you'll hear it here. Today, like I said, the UFC was on. Should we start straight off with that?
Yeah, I reckon we'll knock the UFC out the way, and we'll talk about the Apex, and we'll dive into it.
All right, cool. I feel like, Rick's, that's where Rick's question's aimed at. He sort of smiled at me just then. So today we had the UFC on. Curtis Blaydes and Derek Lewis was the main event.
Yep.
I watched that fight. I watched that. It started off very well for Curtis Blaydes. He was actually using his hands very well. And his kicks, he was doing really good. Didn't really look to wrestle, which was unusual because, going into the fight, he was probably going to try and out-wrestle Derek Lewis, as Derek Lewis has a lot of power. So that's what I thought he was going to do. But, he didn't. And the one time he really went in for a shot in that second round, it was. Did you see it?
Yeah,
it was a bad knockout. And, I mean, no one's in the head of any other fighter, but I felt like Derek Lewis, he was out, man. He was just like, nah, man. I felt like there was a bit of bad blood there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
In the press conference, they asked him, Derek Lewis, they asked him, you landed that shot. You knew he was out. What were the other two shots necessary when he was out? And he goes, sarcastically, as he always is, he goes, me, when I'm inside that octagon, I'm on.
Yeah.
And he goes, if he would have gone down, he could have come back up and sat back up like the Undertaker.
Yeah.
He's just like, I had to.
He goes, fair enough.
He goes, the fight's over when the referee's pulling me off. And then he goes, he waited for Herb Dean to pull him off, and that was it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That's it. He's in there to do his job, because if it had gone the other, he got back up. Yeah. And then we're sitting there going, what are you doing, Derek Lewis? You shouldn't have done that. So it is that fine line, but man, what an uppercut.
Caught him as he was coming in.
Bang. Yeah, he just hit him, and he was in a double leg, just frozen.
And not even the commentary team even took notice that he was out.
Yeah,
it wasn't until he fell backwards.
I mean, it was such a huge shot. It was, it was a bit, you know what I mean? I seen it when I seen it live. I was like, whoa, that was big.
And to be honest, the whole fight was Blaydes.
Yeah, that's what was strange.
Doing what he needed to do.
I mean, but that's what happens in any division, but especially the heavyweight division, man. Power is just the equalizer, man. It just it can really change.
And that was probably the only way Lewis was gonna get the win, was to get that big shot. And that's Derek Lewis in most fights. He has to do that.
Well, I think he just equaled the most knockouts in the heavyweight division, or the most knockouts in UFC. Yeah. He definitely equaled a record today. So I'm not exactly sure which one it was, but that was a devastating knockout, man. I was like, like I said, when it happened, it was big. I mean, besides that, Curtis Blaydes was doing very well up until that point. The fight before that, Rick's just going to get up there. His fact check.
Before we move on, I just want to say that Derek Lewis was the biggest underdog ever since Michael Bisping against Luke Rockhold.
Wow.
To win.
Oh, wow.
So Derek Lewis was that much of an underdog today. So the last one was the Bisping Luke Rockhold.
Yeah.
And Bisping was the biggest it was about the same. I think it was the same.
Yeah.
So
well, there you go.
That's huge. So the rest of the card we had in the co-main, the girls, I think is it Russian? The Russian girl got the win.
Vieira versus
Kunitskaya.
That was a good fight, and I've got to say, respect to the judges for that fight. I was able to catch that fight also. And if you watch that fight, and you base it on how your normal fights are sort of controlled, the Brazilian Vieira there, she dominated a lot of the positions, but didn't do really anything with any of the positions. Kunitskaya, I butchered that hard. She was just so active and so aggressive. Even in the second, she done a lot better. She was winning the takedowns. But even when she was not even like, even though in like sort of a scramble, she was still elbowing and punching and like bashing this girl like non-stop. Where the Brazilian, she was just looking to get you down and like just hold you there and sort of brace and hopefully you'll tire yourself out. But she didn't even at one point in the third. She spent most of the time on the Russian's back, but the Russian was punching her, and credit to the judges, they gave it because it could have easily went the other way. Because you watch that fight in highlights, you can easily say the Brazilian won. But if you watch that whole entire fight, I personally thought the Russian won, and when they gave the decision, I was quite happy for her. I was like, I think that was fair. Then. In Rosa versus Minna, I caught bits and pieces of that.
Yeah, same.
Who won that?
Derek Minna, and he deserved it.
Yeah. Well, decision. How do you win that?
Unanimous decision.
Unanimous decision. Our boy Olenek.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I didn't get to see that one.
I seen it. It was not good.
Yes, I think
it was a show of his age, like real bad. He got caught with some shots. He was up against the fence, and was it Dukas? He just rained bombs, like not bombs, but just constant hooks. And I mean, I have to say, Herb Dean, I felt like it went for a bit too long. Like he was like, I felt it was like 15 to 20 unanswered shots, and then finally Herb Dean stepped in, and as soon as he stepped in, it was still like very wobbly. Phil Horse, shout out to my guy from Sanford. He fought Imavov. He fought it was a great fight. He out wrestled him a lot. He got caught late in the third. Rocked him. He was wobbly. He was on ice skates.
Right at the end. Even when the fight was, when it finished, he was just like, he was still like.
Yeah, but credit to him, man. He kept his head. He kept cool. And he ended up winning the fight. Kept the pressure on him.
At the end there, even Bisping was losing it at the Russian guy. Because he had like Hawes, like
he was French guy.
Or French.
Yep.
Yeah. He had Phil Hawes dazed, and he kept clinching.
Yeah.
And it was like, and Bisping was like,
he did lose it because he did. Yeah, he goes, no, he can't be here when he had him up against the cage. I remember that. But that's the game. Decisions, and that will go on. I'll bring that point up later again in when we talk about Diamondback, because that is. I think that's what makes the world elites is decision making under pressure. Then our boy Arlovsky fought. He fought.
I watched this one as well.
Was it what's his name?
Aspinall. Yeah.
From he's out of Carbon in Liverpool. Shout out to all the Scousers. You're right there, la.
Is that finding out of Darren Till's gym? Yeah.
Yeah, Carbon. Yeah. So same gym. I don't think he is Scouse. I don't think so. I think he may be from London.
Manchester.
Okay, so he's a Manc. He fought Arlovsky, and I don't know, did you see that?
Yeah, I did watch it.
That blast double, man. That was sweet. Because the funny thing was, in the first round, it was all hands, and he caught him with some good shots, Arlovsky. Aspinall caught Arlovsky. And that's what he's known for, his hands, finishing guys real quick. And then Bisping sort of made a joke about, he goes, what about your jiu-jitsu? And he goes, what is jiu-jitsu? And they sort of made it. And it's funny, he ended up winning by submission. So
that was it was like, they kind of fell down, or I don't know, I think it got taken down.
Bro, it was a beautiful blast double, beautiful. Like, and then timing was beautiful, and he sort of turned to get up,
and then he just
put on the choke.
Yeah. And it was like seconds. Like I think Arlovsky knew just.
Yeah, I think personally, I mean that's nothing with those older guys. You know, what I mean, I think when they get in bad spots, they're like, fuck, I just want to get paid. Like honestly, because I felt like Arlovsky, because he had no hooks. And Arlovsky was a bit like, fuck it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so
I probably, I don't see Arlovsky fighting another fight in the UFC. He's just too old, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's the weird thing. Even Olenek and Arlovsky, and then you get rid of a Yoel Romero, but you keep guys like this. Yeah. See, maybe, I mean, it all comes down to like business, you know what I mean? It all comes to, I think in the heavyweight division, they're probably stars for talent. But, you know, in the heavyweight division, they're probably struggling for talent. So they're like, we need some names. And the thing is, once again, it's business. And guys like Aspinall and Dukas, they're going to build names off those two sort of guys. They're going to get experience. So, you know, maybe that's why you're seeing these guys still left around. Because, A, they might be on, like, you know, poor money. And, you know, I mean, like I said, they're using them to build their names. So, You know, it's sad to see the older guys get beat up. That's always sad.
Yeah.
But it's good to see new faces on the scene. That's for sure.
We can go into the prelims. I just want to say 2 fighters out of the prelims I was interested in. So the first one's Ayman Sahabi. That's Faraz Sahabi's brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he came out and he knocked out his opponent.
I didn't see that
nice
fight.
overhand right.
Yeah, nice.
So it's kind of cool seeing like one of the greatest coaches, or one of the great coaches in MMA.
Yeah.
Seeing his brother do work, and then the second one is Casey O'Neill. She's Aussie.
Yeah.
And she got the.
She's so the Eternal show, the Australian show Eternal. That's the promoter, the head promoter, Cam O'Neill. That's his daughter.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I've never actually met Casey, but I know her father quite well.
Yeah.
I fought for Eternal. Cam is a great bloke. Eternal's a great promotion. They're on UFC Fight Pass. They're all over Australia. They're probably the premier sort of fight label in Australia, and that's his daughter. She's only 23, and man, was she fucking aggressive.
Yeah, man.
Man, she just was wailing.
So
wailing.
She's undefeated. From what
I think she
I
goes
heard
6-0 from that. 6-0.
I think 7-0.
7-0.
Commentary said.
She's definitely undefeated.
Yeah.
She's only 23. Man, look, personally, I hope she works on her head movement. She got caught with a lot of big shots, but she ate him like a trooper and kept moving forward, which is good. But hey, she showed signs, man. Like she was aggressive from everywhere.
Yeah.
Top, bottom, standing. She didn't care. She was just going for that kill. And I mean, you see after round one, the round end, she gets up and she's screaming and she's pumped up and showed in her fight. So I mean, great performance from her, and it's great to see an Australian in there.
Yeah, always good to see Aussie MMA.
Yeah. There was a bit of weird one on this card. Chaz Skelly fought I don't remember what's his first name. Emirates there. What's his first name?
Which one's this one?
Chaz Skelly for where is he? He might not even be on the sharp one because the fight never happened. He fought Emirates. Emirates. Emmers. Emirates. They fought and it was weird, man. So Chaz is out of Sanford. He's a very good friend of mine. He's a good fighter. And he come out to the cage.
Jamal Emmers.
Jamal Emmets. And so Chaz has made his way to the ring. He's made weight, everything, which is a weird topic right now. So it's something to sort of talk about. I guess it's going to be a talking maybe point of the week. He's come out. He's made weight. Made his way to the cage. Got literally in the cage, and he's waiting there, sort of, and he's waiting. Music turns off, and he's still just keeping warm. And the officials have walked up and told him they're like, the fight's over, it's off. And he's like, what do you mean? They reckon that Emirates, what is his name? Emmers. You're gonna have to edit that out because I've made an mockery of that. And they reckon he's had back spasms, and before he was just about to walk out, so he was unable to compete. He's had to. They had to cancel the bout, which is very strange. And then Chaz said to Michael Bisping, he goes, I think I still deserve my win bonus. I made weight. I made my way to the cage. I've sacrificed a lot to be here. I really hope that I get paid my full fight person. I have to agree with him, man. I really do. I have to agree with him in the sense of, man, he done everything right. He made weight. He made his way to the cage. He deserves his win bonus, and personally, I think that's definitely something that should be done there. And then also Jared Gordon fought Chavez, and Jared Gordon won. He won that fight on a unanimous decision. Good fight, good stand up, good ground and pound, and ended up winning that fight. So that was good. Sanford went 3 for 3 on this weekend's UFC card, which is good to see. I'm always happy to see the guys from Sanford get wins, and some good fights. So that was an interesting UFC card. I mean, not the most exciting, not the great. It was free, which is always a benefit. But it was a decent card.
In terms of names, it wasn't exciting, but you had your finishes in there. You had obviously your main event, Derek knockout, Blaydes. You had submission finishes. You had TKOs and other KOs further down on the card. So not the big names, but you got your entertainments worth out of today's event.
Yeah.
Moving on to the boxing. So you had Top Rank on today. Canelo team doing bits again. Oscar Valdez with a devastating
That was
a knockout on.
That was nasty. I was sending that through the group chat, and I was seeing that, and then, that was something. That you do like to see, but you don't like to see. I think as a fighter, I don't. You know what I mean? Because I know how how bad it can be. So
and Burchell is a seasoned vet. You know, he's up there. You know, and Oscar Valdez today, who was the underdog, a heavy underdog in this fight, and absolutely, I watched probably a good 7 of them, probably from round 3 on. I caught, and it was like in the 3rd round, I think it was the 4th round, Valdez had him in trouble, man, and he was just landing that. It wasn't because his opponent was blocking, but he was keeping his guard low, and a lot of the blows were landing to the top of the head, and that was he was just getting shaken. He landed a few shots on the chin, and he would walk through those, but it was a shots to the head, to the top of the head, where you could just start seeing him buckling, and like he was like lost his
unusual, man,
feeling.
because usually the crown is a place where you sort of want to you don't want to take shots anyway, but that's why this is the protected area, and to hurt him to the crown is must have some power in his hand. So like I said, if you get a chance, guys, get onto that Oscar Valdez. That knockout was devastating. It was almost shocking to watch. You know what I mean?
He was what's his name? Burchell was he was out for like 5 minutes. On the ring, and it's then there's that moment of insecureness. In the ring, where it's like, what is he alright?
Well, that was the same with Derek Lewis and Curtis Blaydes.
Yeah.
Curtis was out for quite some time. I was unable to. I had to sort of turn it off and leave. But he was out. He was out for some time.
It's as much as we love to see those spectacular KOs. It's at the same time.
That's it. You never want to see harm on the other way. You hope that everyone can go home safe to their families, and But hey, you're in there to do a job, and we know that the risks that we take. So. So that was sort of probably the biggest sort of combat sport this weekend in terms of international news. I didn't really see much else. So I don't think Bellator's taken off yet.
No, I don't think that kicks off until April.
Nah, surely not. Surely they're not waiting till April.
Well, didn't we say that last week? Was it April? Where that big month is?
I'll be very surprised if they're waiting. I mean, that might be a big month for them, but to wait till April, still another month and a half to go.
Hold on.
Next event, April 2nd. You're right.
Yeah.
It's Pitbull versus Sanchez,
But their month of April is stacked. It's weekend after weekend of stacked fights.
Yeah, I guess so. So that's what they're playing at. One championship, they've sort of taken a few weeks off.
But I think I saw that on Instagram. They did promote a few cards coming up. Few decent names on there.
I know Petrosian fight soon.
This is 19th of March, which is still a while away. I'm sure I want to dive into that one. 5th of March, couple of weeks. So you got a few Fairtex boys.
I see that Kang, he's back already. He fought
Tang Kai?
Yeah, he fought this one here. He fought only a couple of weeks ago. And he won. He won he won in the second round. So it's good to see he's back already. Quick turnaround for him.
That Mark Fairtex Abelardo.
Yeah.
New Zealander, Filipino.
Yeah. He's fine. The American guy. I think he's out of Phuket top team. That guy there.
Emilio.
They call him the Honey Badger. His name is. So one championship. Is that this weekend? No, the weekend after.
The weekend after.
Okay, so another 2 weeks for the. So UFC's really the only card going at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
So then next weekend UFC's back on again, doing bids. Now I like this matchup, man. Jairzinho Rosenstruck and Cyril Gunn.
I seen the highlights for this fight on the previous card, and that Cyril Gunn, he's got some figure on him. Almost looks a bit like me, bro. I mean,
what is he?
No, he's a big boy, man, and he's explosive. I've seen him throwing some flying knees, and that Rosenstruck, whatever. Yeah, man, he's got some devastating power, man.
Was his last fight against Ngannou?
Yeah, he got knocked out. Yeah, last fight
That was
got
scary,
knocked
man,
out.
that one.
He's the one that busted Thingy's lip.
Yeah.
Overeem's lip open. Who else is on that card?
You got Pedro Munoz, Jimmy Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
Should be alright. You got Nikita Krylov, Magomed Ankalaev, Montana De La Rosa, Maria Bueno Silva, Angela Hill,
Mm-hmm.
Ashley Yoda, Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy, Kevin Kroom.
Nice. Well, I guess it's an okay card.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing special. I mean, I wouldn't go crazy for it. Is it free? Yeah, it's a fight night. I was going to say.
Alex Oliveira on the prelims. Cowboy Oliveira. So they put him all the way down there now.
It's interesting when they do that to people, don't they? You know, it's not like it's stacked up in the main card. So
yeah, it's interesting to see him down there. So yeah, that's next weekend. Nothing special. I guess they're saving it for the following weekend, which is that triple header.
I guess so. That's the big one. We'll get into that next week because we got a bit of local content to talk about, which is good. It's very rare that we get to speak local events in Adelaide. So on the weekend, I had the Apex on at Norwood Oval, which is we're lucky enough to both be there, watch the event, and I think they did a great job. I think it was very professional. From the moment I walked in, I'm like, this is sick, man. Yeah, no, very impressive. That's one thing I've got to give to Diamondback, which they've done a great job since the beginning. They don't cut corners. Yeah, you know, they don't skimp out or anything, and it shows in their product, and they've done a great job so far.
Yeah, no, it was. I rocked up about 5:45. Got there when the kickboxing was about to start. I did think if you had gotten there from early, the day would have dragged on a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
It was stacked. It was a lot on. So I think if in terms of me, by the time we hit the MMAs, you could kind of feel that it was like this is dragging on a bit.
Yeah.
But then again,
But you know what I mean. It's essentially the Royal LA show of combat sport.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah.
Even if I love combat sport, I love all the martial arts. But even for me, man, to go there all day and sit through every single event I'm pretty sure I'm trying to find the running sheet of the whole day because I'm pretty sure it started at 12 o'clock.
11
o'clock, there you go.
Well, yeah, 11 was
and it finished at about, 11:30 last night?
Yeah, I think they were both on schedule for like an hour.
There was wrestling, BJJ, Ironclad Academy of the Sword, don't know what that means, SA Wrestling, there was SA Scorpion Medieval Battles, I didn't see any of those, arm wrestling, strongman, what else is there? And there was MMA, kickboxing, boxing.
Yeah, they even had sambo wrestling demonstrations as well.
Did they? Yeah, they had some sambo wrestling, Chinese lion dance.
Yeah.
Don't know why that was there, but anyway, that's interesting.
But look, during these times, there's nothing really on. Well, the fringe has started now, and that's a joke. But to go there and see people like back again, the crowds are back. There's live sports entertainment. So it was refreshing to be in that environment again. I've been to many MMA shows before, and the crowd last night, it wasn't the same as what you get at the MMAs. It was a bit more hostile. It was
I find when it's local shows where people sort of know each other, it is like that. I find Australia's mentality of like sport is very like, I don't want to celebrate, you know what I mean? I don't want to cheer for that guy. I don't know who he is, sort of fuck him,
Yeah.
And I've always sort of found that with Australia, and especially in SA, like people don't just support the support, which is sad, which is a sad thing. I wish if people supported, and even if you're not like invested or involved, you go there and you support the sport rather than support a person. Hey, and look, each to their own. Guys want to support who they want to support, but I feel, that I know where you're coming with that comment.
Because there was a kickboxing fight on, and it was early on the kickboxing card, and one of the guys got pretty badly knocked
Yeah,
out.
yeah, I've seen that. The head kick one.
Yeah, the head kick one. And right in front of us, I think one of his mates was there, or one of the guys from the gym, and there was other guys that were celebrating the other guy that won. And then that guy was there, and he kind of like got pissed off. And then one guy kind of turned over, and you could see that, you know, he was getting pissed off and started going at him. And that guy like was just laughing like, you're an idiot. And then he like was running, and then you just see all the guys run, and this guy was just losing it, like one of the punch on.
Yeah, I heard about that, but I didn't see it.
So and that happened like literally right in front of me, and I was just like,
And in saying that, you know what I mean, there were a few events like that throughout the night, and I actually, you know, spoke to a few fighters, and even a few supporters, and I said, look, guys, you got to remember, at the end of the day, you know, there's fighting, people get knocked out, and you know there are egos in the line. But at the end of the day, this is martial arts.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to realise. Like I had 4 of my teammates and my friends fight last night, and I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, you know, to see 2 of the boys win, 2 of them lose, it was heartbreaking, man. Like it really was. It breaks my heart and it angers me, and you know, I want to lose and smash something, but you know, at the end of the day, guys, like I said, it's martial arts. You've got to realise that that's what it is, and that's all it is, you know. And you're going in there, you're competing. No one wants to see their sibling, their family, their loved ones lose, you know, friends, even if you're a fan. So, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And that's what... It's unfortunate, but people aren't educated enough to know that. And when I say educated, I don't mean, like, book educated. I mean martial art educated. You know what I mean? Like, it's sport. Yes, you know what I mean? Like, you will lose. You know, we will lose a fight. But it's not the end of the world. And you know, that's one thing I said to my teammates and my friends, you know, who lost. And, you know, I said to them, boys, at the end of the day, tomorrow the sun will rise again. Like, this is not the end of the world. It literally... I know it may feel like that right now and then, but it isn't the end of the world. It's martial arts. You went in there because whether people are going to laugh for you or cheer for you in that crowd, remember, they're not, like, they don't have enough, you know, kahunas, you know, balls to get in there and do it themselves, you know what I mean? So they come and watch people like us do it, and sometimes at our expense, they laugh at us, they cheer for us and whatever they do. But look, guys, at the end of the day, whoever gets in that cage and is willing to put it on the line and is trained properly, you know what I mean, they've done it. That training camp is the real challenge. Getting in there is the glory, you know what I mean? And glory doesn't define you, you know what I mean? Winning a world title doesn't make you a good martial artist, okay? So, yeah, that was one thing that was sad to hear about from the event. But, look, besides that, I think it was an amazing day. Yeah. It was a great day, yeah.
And even being down there, I ran into people that I wouldn't expect to see there. Yeah. And they were enjoying their time there as well.
Yeah, that was interesting. I did see a few faces the same.
Yeah.
You know, a bit like, loving it, man, having a great day, which is good to see, you know. And for me, you know, I'm not financially or personally involved with this event, but for me, I wanted to see it succeed, you know. I really did, because the more this succeeds, the more martial arts succeeds, the more everything grows.
And imagine debuting in front of a crowd that was there.
Yeah, it was funny because I thought of that. It's 2 ways really there. Like, it's hard because, you know, like those poor guys who did get knocked out, for instance, or did lose. You know, it's hard because your first day out there, you're an amateur and you've got all these people and there's so much pressure. But, you know, at the same time, it's to me, I'd love it, man. You know what I mean? I never got to do that when I first debuted. We fought in some, you know, basketball arena, you know, with, you know, a dodgy little cage, or not even, I fought in a ring for my first fight. Yeah. And, you know what I mean? So, yeah, you know what I mean? So for us, it's awesome, man. It's a great feeling, and it's good to see, you know what I mean, Adelaide's on the rise. And well done to, you know, to Craig Ike and to Greg for putting on a great show. Well done to all the Diamondback, because I know there's a lot of people involved. I'm hopefully going to get one of the guys on in the next couple of weeks, maybe talk a bit about local MMA, talk a bit about the show. And, it was a great event.
We'll dive into the card, into the MMA card.
I seen some of the kickboxing fights. To me, the kickboxing was very amateur. You know what I mean? Very amateur in the terms of abilities and skills. Yeah. And, you know, people may take that the wrong way. People may think, you know, it's a bit of an asshole comment, but it's the truth. I'm just taking it as I see it. They were very amateur, very raw, but hey, we've all got to start somewhere. Yeah. We all can't, you know, the later fights were good. The main event for the kickboxing was a good, hard-fought fight, very close, technical. Yep. And so was, I'm pretty sure it was the fight before, the kid from Maruda. I forget his name. He fought Asian guy. I forget his name. He's a good fighter. That was a good fight to watch. But yeah, the MMA card, some good fights, some very scrappy fights, and that's what I mean with the kickboxing. Just, I'm not saying you have to be the greatest. You don't have to be the next Borkow, the next, like great name or nothing. But I want to, skills, and I feel like some were very rough, very raw. So a lot of people spinning around, ducking, doing all sorts of things. So but then the MMA guys, there was like I said, some good technical fights and some quite raw fights. But well done to all of them. Yeah. Like I said, a great effort from everyone. To me, I think personally the best fight of the night was probably Shane Mitchell's, the main event. I forget the guy's name before.
Khan
Sandy fought. It was a good fight because I feel like Khan was buzzing around the ring a lot, using his movement, and Shane easily could have got frustrated and really made a lot of mistakes in that fight. But he didn't. He kept calm, he kept cool, and he caught him with a nice double right hand, man, and put his lights out, put him cold. So there was word that he, potentially going to get signed to the UFC. I've heard some talks there.
Shane Mitchell?
Yeah, so that would be good to see if another local guy can get into the big leagues, and we'll have to wait and see. So he's been on a bit of a tear. He's been one of Adelaide's sort of bigger names for a long time. So I think he's moved to, he's 12-4 now, if I'm correct. So with at least, he's got at least 8 or 9 knockouts, you know what I mean? So he's definitely got the skills and the record to get there. So we'll wait and see. There was some, like I said, I had a few 4 Trinity guys fight there last night.
I reckon we'll just go through the card. So we had Sal Cruz. Now we didn't know who he was at the beginning of the night. And then when his walkout song came on, and me and my cousins and my brothers were like, what the hell? And there's a famous cumbia song. And we just started chanting, man, and then we quickly Googled Facebooked him who he was. Turned out he was Mexican, so we started rooting for the Mexican. We made sure he wasn't a Trinity boy that was fighting against. We waited for that.
That was the first fight. He was the taller, sort of dark guy, blonde hair. I didn't hear the song because we were at the back with the boys, but
it was funny because the group that we were just there to have a bit of fun. So as soon as Salvador, which is his name, as soon as he started landing his shots, me and my brothers were all yelling, "Eso, eso!" It's like, nice. Being in the cage, and you would have heard that.
And back to your point before, that's what you want to see. You don't know this guy, and you're supporting his match no matter what. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of people are like, I don't know these people, whatever. They're sort of not paying attention. If you're there, get into the fights, make some atmosphere. It's just great for the fighters, and it's great for the sport.
It was funny because the guys from his gym were over the fence on this side. And when they heard us started saying "eso," they clicked on, and then they started yelling out "eso, eso." So it was cool.
That's cool. That's awesome.
That was pretty fun. And even when the walkout song, we were all singing along. And
that was a pretty hard fought fight. I watched it out the back. Went to a decision, correct?
Yeah. Went to a decision. Mason Collins and Jacob Baron. Mason got the win.
Yeah, very close fight. Yeah. Very close. Mason's from Trinity. A very talented fighter. He done well. I'm annoyed at him because I know how good he is, and I'm a perfectionist. And as soon as he got out the back, I wanted to kill him. But at the same time, I love him, and he's done a great job. Yeah. You only get one debut fight, and you only get one time to have your first win, and he got it on last night. So I'm so proud of him, man. I'm like him and his brother. They're twins, Levi and Mason. I've got a lot of time, a lot of respect for them. They're hard-fought kids. They love their martial arts. Very humble, respectful kids. But I was annoyed a bit with Mason because I think he's a lot more talented than that, and he did get to show all his skills. But as his first fight. And, I'm excited for his future.
I was watching him, and Robbie was next to me, and I think another guy was next to Rob that he knew. And I was watching it, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, that's the Lee Jenkins style. I could see him switching up.
And a lot of those Trinity boys, man, credit to them. They really trust in Lee. And I can see him when I spar with them. Yeah. And it's funny because a lot of them who are really, really trained with Lee, it's funny because when I spar with them, I sort of know exactly what they're thinking. Because I'm like, man, don't worry, I've been doing this for like 5 years, what you're doing. I can see exactly what you're thinking. So, and it shows in them, their abilities, we had a couple other boys fighting that card, and it showed that the skills that Lee's been working with them. So credit to Lee and a credit to Trinity and the coaching staff down there.
It's cool to see, when you watch Lee here at the gym, or when I watched him fight, and then you see it in the guys that he's coaching. I was like, that's really cool to see.
That's it. Styles. It's just like, you know, I guess you'd even see it in every sport, really.
Yeah.
You'd see, you know, a guy who, you know, even, you know, idolizes a Maradona. You know, you'll have that same drive, that same, you know, pace and whatnot. So it's cool to see.
Sam, I can't even say that last name. It's called me out. I don't know how to say it. Against Jed Dale. Can't remember who won that one.
I don't know either. I didn't see exactly every card. Let me see.
Evan Glikos versus Martin Vogt. This was a fight.
That was a good fight, man. That was really good.
It was cool because, you know, Evan always gets around us, and when he's around, we always, you know.
Yeah, I got to say that was cool, man. I loved it when I walked out with Evan
and all of us boys.
And I seen them all you boys going off, and you know, Evan, he to me is he's just like. He's so good, man. I love him. He's just such a good heart. Like, here's a funny story at the back.
Because even when we were saying, like, Evan's going to land a shot and then apologise straight up.
Sorry.
But
it's funny. I find Evan to be... He's like me. You know, you're at the back and so like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know? Then as soon as you get hit, you're like, despite the story, you're going to hit me. So, and I felt that's what happened when he got caught with a good shot in the second round. And it was like, you want to fight?
Yeah.
He just didn't stop. He was hunting this kid down, and he didn't stop the whole time.
Yeah.
Relentless.
I was because the Asian guy that was fighting against, he was just picking him, like picking his shots, getting like just chopping away at that front, the lead leg, and he was just landing shots. And I'm like, you know, like yelling, like, let's go, Evan, let's go. And then we seen at the end of the first round, and you know, when all the coaches start running to the cage. And he was in there, and he's like, you could see he's like, fuck. And he lifted up his lead leg, and he was just like not kind of trying to show it, but you could kind of see that that lead leg was hurting. And in a second, that guy kept chopping at that leg, and from what we saw a massive welt on that knee. So we could see that he was struggling, but then he got clipped with a big shot, and then after that it was all Evan.
And it was weird because Evan's a real like wrestler dominant fighter.
Yeah.
And even when he trains, he will very rarely strike. He just wants to wrestle. And just last night, he just didn't even want to wrestle.
He didn't want to engage.
I found that so strange. You know, I find that very strange with fighters when it's like that. And but yeah, he struck beautifully, and his takedown defense is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, shot a few times in the last round, and Evan just stuffed all of them. And here's a funny story about Evan, just quickly before we move on. So about probably 10 minutes before we walk out, we look over and there's Evan, he's on the phone. Oh, yeah, Papu, I'm fighting soon, Papu, yep. Yeah, then I'll be safe, all right, Papu, yeah, yasu, Papu. I was like, man, I love this guy. Then you love him, and you go, come on, Evan, get off the phone, man, you got to go there in 10 minutes. Not only 2 seconds later, his mum calls. And what does he do? Yeah, mum, yeah, nah, mum, I'm going on a minute. Nah, mate, I'll be safe. I'm like, man, this fucking bloke. I'm like, even get the fucking phone, man. Yeah, sorry, all right, mate, I gotta go. All right, okay, yeah, bye. I'm thinking, fuck, that is as day goes as it gets.
Yeah.
Like, that's his chop.
But it's real, man.
Yeah,
it's real,
man.
So.
And even Evan, man, he's a great kid. He's at the back and he's all panicked and he's so nervous, and you can just see the look in his eye, like, man, he's so scared. And you know that's why I want to be there for those guys. And you know, when they do lose, it breaks my heart. They're like my brothers. They're like my little brothers, and I'm trying to, you know, guide them in a way, you know, and that's why I'm there from them. You know, I grab those guys and I look them deep in the eyes, man. I tell them, like, you know, boys, you're here because you deserve to be here. No matter what happens out there, you know, that's just a moment in time. Like, right now, you deserve to be here. Like, this is where you belong. And now you just got to go out there and display your skills. And you know, they all did. Look, they all did. And I'm so proud no matter the results. But yeah, the next fight.
I just want to say congrats, Evan, on your win, man.
It was Mungeli, man.
It was one of the highlights of the night, I must say.
The Fizz man.
Damien Villar, Joe Brown. Can't remember who won that one.
That was Damien won that fight. And I was super proud of Damien. And Damien shouted out he wants to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
So we'll have to get him on one day, special guest. We'll bring in the boys. We'll have maybe Sub and Nat on again. We'll have a bit of a panel and we'll have him on. So I was super proud of Damien, man, because he fought in his first fight and he fought that pinhead that called out Sub on a current affair. And I'd fight him. I forget his name, but I don't know his name because he's a gug anyway. But yeah, and Damien shot in early. He was on Eternal about probably a year or two ago. And as he ducked his head, this guy's throwing a kick, and it's like credit to the guy, but it was an accidental. Like, he didn't mean to hit the guy, and his knee Damien in the head and knocked him out. and badly, and you know, it's a lot to come back from a loss like that. You know, to be knocked out in that way and come back and fight again. And a credit to Damien, man. Like, he went in there and he fought a tough 3-round war, man, and he won. And I said to him, man, I said, really, man, congratulations, and be proud of yourself, man, because it's one thing to win, but it's one thing to lose and come back. So credit to him, man, and we'll have to get you on the show, Damien. I promise. All right.
Josh Watkins and Carlos Sanchez, which is the whitest. No, the most Mexican white guy, but no, the most white Mexican. Well, I don't even know what he is. He's just got the most Mexican name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about because he was at the back. Did he win or lose?
Carlos Sanchez, he won it. I'm pretty sure he won.
Yeah.
Because we were keeping out because we were like because when the Cardio Flakes boys came out, they came out with about 300 guys. It looked like
the whole squad came out, which is good, man.
Yeah, I like it. It was cool to see.
That's it, man. A lot of people give shit to that, and I'm like, hey, man, everyone's got their own style.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, people used to. I know people used to give me shit. Oh, this bloke with 300, who do you think? Yeah, you got your entourage. Hey, man, but is it my fault that I got support and same with these guys? I'm not going to rag on them. Good on you, man. Like, you're a team, you're a unit, you come out together, you know, and you got the privilege to do it on a local card like that. Do it, man. It makes the fighter feel $1 million.
Yeah, and even that was kind of cool to see as well, because it's you see all these other fighters come out just with their corners, but then you see, you know, like a train comes out of people, and it was like, you know, he catches your eye, and he's like, oh, that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah,
so
no, exactly.
I thought that was pretty cool to see. I'm not ragging on it. I was just making a point.
Yeah. No, I wasn't saying you were ragging. Sorry.
Yeah, but we were kind of keeping up to see, like, you know, we were seeing like the Cardio Flex guys kept losing, and then Carlos Sanchez was the first one that got the win. So that was like, oh, like, you know, as me and Juan were there, we were just taking these notes, just saying out stupid facts. Yeah. But yeah, no, so Carlos Sanchez got the win. Can't remember how it was. I can't remember what it was. So the next fight was Tom Ackerley, Taylor Bednards.
Yeah. That was another one of the Trinity boys.
Yeah. Tom Ackerley won.
Yeah, my first round guillotine, which is very disappointing. When I say disappointing, not in a bad way, because Taylor's my guy. I love him. I really love that kid, man. I got so much time. I got so much respect for him. You know, I think he's got a huge future ahead of him. He started off so well. He started off beautiful. His hands are beautiful. That calf kick was beautiful. He got caught with a few shots late in the round. He shot in on a lazy double. Got caught in a bad guillotine and got in a bad, and with 4 seconds to go, he got.
It was like an awkward spot.
Yeah,
like
he got stuck in the cage, and he was stuck in between the fence and that, and you know, credit to Tom, he got the win, man. Good on him. I'm not trying to take discredit from him. Good on you, bro. Great win. But yeah, I'm heartbroken for Taylor, man, because I really like him, and he's got a big future. And like I said to him, look, you know, Taylor, you're a good fighter. Everybody loses. This is only your amateur career. You do this now to make your mistakes here and there. But even when you become a pro, you know, unfortunately, man, you're going to lose. Like, besides Khabib Nurmagomedov, name another one that's, you know, at the highest order that hasn't lost a fight. You know, he loves, you know, one of his favourite fighters is Rory McDonald. Yeah, he actually really looks like Rory McDonald, like very similar. Like, it's actually quite scary. But anyway, and I said to him, man, Rory's lost before. But, you know, Rory's still one of the greatest fighters, you know, of our era. So, you know, he's a good kid. He'll learn from this. He's got a great head on his shoulder. He's got a great family. His mum and dad are awesome. Massive support behind him. And he's got Nick. He's got Jake. He's got Anthony. He's got Lee. Great coaches. He's got, you know, a lot of people around him who will help him grow from this. So he'll be up and going. And he's one of those guys I pulled to the side and I said, look, tomorrow the sun will rise. What are you gonna do? You're gonna lay there and cry. You're gonna get up and go. And I know what he's gonna do. I know he's gonna be in the gym tomorrow. So, you know, unlucky Taylor, but you know that's the game, man. You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Now, the next fight, this for me was the most entertaining. I know you said Shane Mitchell, but this for me, in terms of
see, and a lot of people have said this to me. They've said, "Oh, that was the best fight." And I said, "Look, I'm not being a hater, but to me, man, it was a big shot. Of course, a big knockout.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see it, but to me, I like skills.
Yeah, I thought I know where you're coming from, but for me, it was terms of spectacle with people, because rivalry. It was very close. Because there was a lot of PJ guys there, and there was a lot of Isaac Richards guys there as well. The United boys were all there supporting their boy, and then. And on the other side, there was a lot of PJ shirts around, man. It was like, it reminded me of almost when we were at the Outlet Oval for your fight against Friday up in for the Danny Green, Danny Green Mundine.
Yeah.
It was kind of like when you walked into the Allied Oval, you saw Spartan shirts everywhere.
Yeah.
This was on a smaller scale, but when you walked in...
Oh, definitely. Those two were, to me, the biggest name on the card. That was, even when we're out there, the crowds were just so... And they were chanting from both sides.
Yeah.
So it was awesome to see, and, you know what I mean, and great support. It makes great atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it makes for a great fight, like you just said.
Yeah, like
okay,
even
massive
us,
knockout,
yeah.
But the atmosphere was awesome for that fight.
Yeah, and even us, when we walked in, Juanito was like, who's the Hurricane? You know, like, who's this Hurricane guy? I'm like, oh, that's one of Tony's guys that fights at his gym. And he's like, there's a lot of, he's got a lot of support here. Yeah. And then when the fight started, you feel, like the tension and
that's it.
It rise.
And that's what makes for great fights. And you won't really get them in Adelaide as much because the names aren't as big. Yeah. But you got a guy like Isaac Richard, who's an ex-Adelaide United player, sort of a name here in Adelaide. Then you got a guy like PJ, who's it's funny, he's a model, so he's quite a big name. A lot of people know who he is, and he's an MMA fighter too. So socially, they're quite strong names. And, to meet in the ring, it made for an excellent fight. And, for me, unfortunately, PJ didn't win. It breaks my heart. But like I said, it's the game. Mm-hmm. It's the fucking game. And it's all respect to Isaac, man. Good on you, man. You took your chance. You won. Like, excellent, bro. Like, I'm proud of you. But, yeah, for me, it hurts me, man. Because, like I said, these guys, they're my brothers, man. And I struggled to sleep last night. I laid there for a while. I had to message all of them. And, like I said, my heart breaks for them, man. Because to me, these guys, they're my brothers, man. Like, so, you know what I mean? Like, and as well, I know exactly what they're feeling. And when I see them in the way they are, I really wish I could take that pain from them and I could take it on for them because... I don't know, I'm that sort of person, man. I don't like seeing people hurt. It's weird, you know what I mean? I do what I do for a living, but that was a nice catch.
Did you see
get
that
on camera?
Yeah, that's on camera.
Style, dog. That's not edited. That was fucking on. Fuck, that was nice. But yeah, I really wish I could take their pain from them, man, because I know what it's like, man. I remember when I lost my first fight in Jakarta, man. That's what I said to PJ. I said, PJ, I know this feels like the end. This feels like the bottom. Like, this feels like it's, you just lost in front of your friends and your family. I said, bro, I did that in front of millions of people. I got my face smashed in front. I said, and I was laying in a hospital bed, man, in tears, and it broke my heart, man. But at the end of the day, like I said that, and then my brother said, he's the one that said it to me. He said, man, the sun will rise tomorrow. And what are you going to do, man? So, I know PJ will be back, you know what I mean? And whatever capacity he comes back, he'll learn from this, man. Yeah. It's martial arts, man. You're there to be broken or to break or get broken. And unfortunately, he was on the other end of the sword. So, but that's the game. Mm-hmm. That's the game, man. And respect, like I said, to Isaac, and respect to PJ, man, for getting in there. They put on a great show. The crowd was going wild. Unfortunately, I felt there was a bit of disrespect between the crowds, between each other, a bit of comments made here and there between each other. And, I don't like that. I
saw things I didn't like as well, but I'm not gonna say it just because.
There were comments made in the ring, and I actually even grabbed Isaac after. He came in the back room and he was looking for BJ. He said, I just want to see him. I said, look, man. He goes, nice to meet you. And I said, likewise, man, congratulations, awesome fight. But I said to him, look, man, it's your day. It's your day, man. It's your moment. It's your hour, bro. Like, love it. Enjoy it. But remember, what happened in there tonight, what you did to someone, can happen back to you. And would you like if everyone made comments and was going wild and, a bit arrogant in that sense? And I'm not saying he was at the time, but I'm saying it's called martial arts, this game. That's how I knew it. That's how I got into it. It was martial arts, not fighting. I said, you must be humble in victory and in defeat. But in saying that, if you want to go wild, like Conor McGregor, you want to be that person, you be that, man. Like, I hope the best for you. But do be careful, because one day you may be the one who's laying on the canvas going, what the fuck just happened? And, when everyone's, and you hope that, the guy behind, can lift you up and say, man, you'll be right, man. It's all good. And that's to me what martial art is. And he said to me, he goes, oh, no, man, I apologise. I did go a bit crazy. So respect to him, man, for saying that. And I think he did. And he'll learn from that. It will come, but hopefully he's got a good future ahead of him. He definitely has power. He fucking threw that bomb, man, and and PJ's a tough guy. He's a big boy, and he hurt PJ big time. So credit to him. Hey, let's see. Hopefully with a name like that, he can help grow MMA even bigger in Adelaide. So I hope so.
Before we move on, this is what I wanted to
I felt like I knew this is what it was about. Yeah,
pull the handbrake a bit. Bowl sports.
Bowl sports, yes.
You know, the boys coming over into the game. Again, eat your words a little bit.
No, I didn't eat my words, not at all.
Well,
that's
you had Paul Gallen.
That spat me in the face. You let me down, Mark, and I'm still fucking pissed off at you. Wow. If I could beat him up, I would. I can't. So, fuck you, Mark. Fuck me there, you prick. Nah, I love you, Mark. You're the man. Way more on the Paul. Good on you. Yeah. But you can't say the same thing here.
Why not?
Isaac Richard, that's what I was saying. I'm a ball sport coming over. I played football before martial arts.
Isaac Richard is a professional footballer.
Yes, coming over fighting an amateur fight. Isaac Richards, what weight did he fight at last night? I think he fought at a catch weight at 83. Yeah. So that's nearly middleweight. Let's just say welterweight. Get one of the welterweights in the UFC to fight Isaac Richards.
Yeah,
would it be the same? Just answer that question. Yeah, would it be? That's my point.
Yeah,
you can. It's like Jake Paul. He can do boxing, but don't do boxing against a boxer. Don't do that because you'll get the shit beat out of you badly. That was my point, and I knew that was going to be your point because these Majika brothers, they just fucking die to get me. And I knew it as soon as you made that. I was like, yeah, I know this is what it's going to be, but you can't say that. Because PJ is an amateur fighter also. Just quick shout out to my guys, El Monty, getting on board for the podcast, giving me their latest threads, looking cool, looking fit, looking strong. So shout out to my guys at El Monty. Guys, jump onto Instagram, hit the link in the bio, man, and get yourself some cool threads. They've got shorts, t-shirts. They've also come out with a women's line, which I'll be putting up on my Instagram soon. So guys, well, I personally won't be wearing it. That's for Annalise. All right. So guys, jump on board and check out El Monty on social media and get yourself looking cool.
Well, I was talking we were talking in a group last night on the way home, and they were telling me. And I completely forgot everything I was meant to say because it was me, Sav, Vic, Juan, and my brother Eddie. And we were just saying, you got to say this, you got to say. But I forgot.
Yeah, but it's, like I said, you can't compare that. You really can't. Because, like I said, PJ is also an amateur. They're on in a sense on the same level. Like PJ's had. I think he's only had one MMA fight, so that's his first. So there's one amateur fight experience.
But now that you say that, does it make it worse now that Paul Gallen is he's a rugby player, and Mark Hunt's a professional fighter. Was a professional fighter. No, was. It doesn't matter.
What? No, don't get me wrong. That Mark Hunt fucked me there. He made a full.
I think, but what you're saying now, all right, these guys are two amateurs. It makes
it's
not bad.
What my point is, like Jake Paul to call out Floyd Mayweather, like that's what annoys me. Like, are you serious, dude? Like this guy's fought he is considered one of the greatest fighters ever to do it. Like ever. Like he calls out Conor McGregor. Like, what are you, a fucking idiot? Like Nate Roberts, he come over and look what happened to him, and that's only against a guy like Jake Paul. Imagine if he fought a real-time boxer. The guy would push his head through the cage. Yeah. There have been a few ball sport crossovers. I like how you ignore them. Remember Jose Canseco, the baseball player? He fought MMA. He got the absolute shit beat out of him. Who else has been come over? Greg Hardy, NFL player, come over. And he's having a hard time in the UFC.
Well, is he?
Yes. His last fight, he got absolutely pounded on.
Yeah, but he's got a decent record.
A decent record, but he's not great. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, don't think you can be ball sport and just jump over to boxing one day and win a fight. That's my point.
Anthony Mundine?
Anthony Mundine is a trained boxer, professional trained boxer. You're blurring the lines here, my friend.
Was he not a ball player? Is he a ball sports player?
But so am I then. Then I'm a ball sport player.
Well, but then again, Mundine was a pro, wasn't he?
Yeah, a professional what? Yeah, but he always had a boxing background. His dad was a professional boxer, Tony Mundine.
Yeah, but he's a pro bowler.
Yes, he made the professional ranks, yes. But he's not it wasn't like he played rugby and was like, oh, well, I'm playing Friday night, so Saturday night I'll go fight for the world title. No, he completely dropped rugby because he was good enough to box and came over. So he crossed over. Mm-hmm. So what's your point?
My point is that he started with the ball sport first.
No, he didn't. You don't know if he started with the ball sport first.
He was a boxer. He took off in that avenue. So for him to be a pro, he would have to stop anyway.
What do you mean?
To be a pro bowler, he's full time.
Yeah.
So he would have to stop boxing.
How do you know? How do you know he wasn't still training the whole time?
Well, you can't. You're a pro. You're
Why not?
traveling. You're having to train.
Yeah.
It's too much on your body.
Look, I'm not saying it's impossible. I didn't say it's impossible. But what I'm saying is, don't make that jump like it's easy. It's not an easy jump.
Well, it's not. But that's what I'm saying is you can have that transition.
Yeah, no, of course. Like there are guys who have done it.
Yeah.
Like we just said, Anthony Mundine. I mean, there's not many. So we were going to sit here and really try and think of some, but there aren't many. That's my so if it was what my point of view was that easy, there would be more names to rattle off, but there isn't.
You don't really see many boxers coming over. And
True, because we don't want to. You don't see.
You
don't see many. You don't see many like boxers cross over to ballet. They don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Admittedly, no, we wouldn't. But once again, we respect soccer. We can't kick the ball how they kick the ball, and they can't fight how we fight. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do what Leo Messi does. I can't. He's a fucking. He's an amazing
not
player.
many can.
That's my. I can't even do what name is.
Not even pros can do.
But name a half decent player.
Nick Booker.
Nick Booker. I couldn't do what Nick Booker does.
Yeah.
I can admit it. But can Nick Booker do what I do?
No.
That's right, but if we trained, we could potentially do it. But there's always a potential.
Well,
but the likelihood
we
of it
make
is
this
very
comparison in footy. We make this comparison with footy. We go, a footy player can kick a free kick into the top right corner, but a soccer player can put a kick from the pocket into the sticks.
Has this theory been tested?
Well, we tested our training with Eddie.
What do you mean? What?
He's never kicked a footy in his life. We went to the footy goals. Eddie kicked the goal from the pocket.
What once off? But that doesn't mean he can play football.
Yeah, but no, you tell a footballer to go and put a free kick in top right first go.
But
they won't be able to. It's different.
But that is so. It's a silly analogy.
How?
That's like saying, "Oh, let's me and you. We're gonna go to the punch machine. Whoever punches harder is a better boxer."
That's what Benito says.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not true. Because to be a good fighter, you gotta know how to move your feet. You gotta know how to land. You gotta know how to, you gotta land the punch. You can't just like me. I could potentially kick a penalty, but am I ever gonna get a chance in the 18-yard box to have a shot at a world-class level? No, because I wouldn't know how to get there. And I might get there by accident and kick a goal and be like, oh, but does that make me a soccer player? No.
Yeah.
It was like Michael Jordan. He was a great basketball player. He tried baseball, and it was hard. It's hard to cross over.
He played in the minor leagues, which is still decent.
Yeah, okay, but nevertheless, he was not the Michael Jordan of baseball either. My point is, if you're going to cross over, do it right. Mm-hmm. A guy like Mark Hunt in his prime, I dare say Paul Gallen would have been a Mark Hunt in his prime. Let's be honest. But once again, it's a hypothetical. Yeah. So I'm not going to write off Mark Hunt. I'm not going to write off Paul Gallen. I ate my words there, and I admit that I was wrong there. And in the terms of Isaac Richards, he's doing it right. Yeah. He's training. He's fighting at an amateur. It wasn't like Isaac crossed over and was like, bring me the best in Australia. I want him tomorrow. He's gone, no, I'm an amateur. I'll start in Adelaide, build my record, and then I'll go into the scene. And that's what he's doing. So he's doing it correctly. So before you try and jump all over me and say that he's a ball player, he's a ball player who crossed over correctly. What my disturbance is, like when guys like a Jake Paul, like I said, they go to the top. I'm calling out Floyd Mayweather. I'm going to beat up Conor McGregor for $50 million. Even Conor McGregor is a great fighter, and he went over and thought he could beat one of the greatest boxers at boxing, and he got showed that he looked like an idiot. You know what I mean? Well, not like an idiot, but he got showed that there are levels to the game. And that's all I'm saying is respect the levels. Like I said, I rag on ball sports often to you boys. I give you shit about it. But I also respect the ball sport. Don't get me wrong. Like, I can't do I couldn't do what a snooker player does. I can't do what a netballer does. I can't do what a bobsled person does. I can't do that. I admit that. But what my point is, a bobsledder compared to an MMA fighter, there's no comparison, bro. That's my point.
You make that bold statement, but in what context you say there's no comparison? Under what? What are you talking about here?
Man, they're going out, these boys, and they're going to risk their lives. They're going to the death.
Yeah, but that's...
Like you said, bring us that Oscar Valdez...
I know, but
show me that video
game.
again.
Yeah,
show a soccer player that and go, this might happen to you this afternoon if you walk out on that pitch. Are you going to do it?
But we've seen...
Are you going to do it?
Obviously, it's not a combat sport.
That's my point.
It's different.
That's what I'm drawing. That's what I'm saying the difference is.
Like, we've seen, if you want to talk about bad injuries, and risking your lives. There's been players that have died on the pitch.
You what, from fucking lightning?
No, there's the head clashes. You get, people get their heads torn off because of the studs.
Brother,
into the
until
face.
you tried jiu-jitsu once, yeah?
Yeah.
How long did you last?
I lasted about 1.5 years, 2 years.
You still playing soccer?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, see?
Well, what are you trying to say there?
So my point is, there's a big difference, bro. It takes a lot of this to keep doing what we're doing. To play soccer's easy, bro. Anyone can rock up and just put some boots on and kick a ball around,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but
at a level, no, there's levels to the game.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm just saying, don't compare our sports ever, because they're not. Yours is a game, ours is life.
Yeah, but all right, I don't want to keep going around in circles here, but
yeah.
Got to agree to disagree, like we said last week. Because
like I said,
my opinion, you got yours.
That's it. And like I said, I think anyone who does it right, comes over correctly, good on you. It's like jiu-jitsu guys, the same thing.
Yeah.
Don't cut like a Craig Jones, excellent, one of the best jiu-jitsu. He's my favourite jiu-jitsu fighter. Excellent. But if Craig Jones rang up Dana White tomorrow and said, I don't even know what weight he would be at. I think he's a big boy, 91 kilos. I want John Jones tomorrow. What do you think Dana White's going to say? Go get a fight, man. Like, seriously, dude. Like, do you really think you're going to fight John Jones and beat him? Like, what are you, crazy? And I think Craig would have enough respect to go, man, I'm not going to fight John Jones. What are you, crazy? Oh, I'm skillful. Yeah, I'm sick. It's like Mike Tyson, the whole Mike Tyson theory. It's like Anthony Joshua. Yeah, man, he's a great warrior, bro. I wouldn't want to box Anthony Joshua. He'd kill me. But Anthony Joshua fought Stipe Miocic in a real fight. You know what's happening. Conor McGregor seen Floyd Mayweather on the street and they were going to get into some beef. You know what's up. You know what's up. That's my point. There's levels to the game. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's the way because the way you say you can't compare.
Yeah.
In terms of athleticism.
But that's my personal opinion. That's all it is. It's my personal opinion.
Because if we were to partner them up and make them compete in terms of athleticism, both sport players.
But we're not athletic. Yeah, we're not. I'm not going to sit here and say I know like Mark Hunt. He is probably one of the most horrendous athletes you'll ever meet in your life. But would you fuck with him?
But even then again,
but would you fuck with him?
No, I wouldn't even
go get one of the marathon runners who's super fit to fuck with him. No one's going to go near that guy.
They've got the number one defense.
He's an animal.
They got the number one defense.
What's that?
Run.
Yeah, bro. But when you're in that cage, it's only so far you can run, dog. That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. Like, I always bring it back to the four corners, man. Everyone wants to see the fight.
I know, and it's entertaining.
Fight,
it's entertaining. And I just think, mentally, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
A fighter has it over every time in anything. If times get tough, the combat athlete will always win, just because they're stronger mentally. But in terms of athleticism, it's always going the other way.
Not always. Don't say always.
Always. If you're going pros, always.
So you're telling me there's no combat sport person who could do a marathon or could jump or run and swim?
Oh, you can do a marathon. They could probably do a marathon at a decent pace. But you're telling me a guy that runs 12 Ks a game, or most pros.
I'll put it this way. Here you go.
Nick Booker claims to run 11 Ks a game.
Here's one for you. I've ran with AFL footballers and I've outran them.
Well, AFL footballers, you got your really fit guys, and you got
these guys
your rucks.
Well, my point is, I ran with them, and they were.
You're gonna run with Sandilands, 7 foot bloke.
Well, I ran with the midfielder, and also ran with the ruck. Oh, well, it was meant to be a ruckman sort of thing, and I beat both of them.
Well, it depends which you're getting. I'm talking here about soccer, because AFL footballers. Nah.
But it might just pure running.
Just pure running.
Okay, I bet there's some fighters who would outrun.
Do you with Bucco?
Me and Bucco run.
Yeah.
How far?
Just do 10K.
I'll take him on. I'll take it. I'll take that challenge.
He claims to beat Lee Jenkins. He reckons he smokes Lee.
Who?
Yeah, he's not even an athlete yet. Yeah.
Who? A packet of hot chips and a donut deep. Lee Jenkins.
Lee at his peak.
You know what? This I can go all day.
Yeah.
We'll come back to this. All right. I'm getting hot. I'm getting bothered. It's getting late.
Yeah.
I think we wrap.
Well,
it up.
last thing before we end it. Off topic. Off combat sports. Just want to touch on that. I saw it today. So the vaccine rolls out tomorrow. I saw Prime Minister get his vaccination, and there was everybody, because the news media bans, so you're not seeing nothing on your on anywhere. I saw it. Lee shared it today, and I was like, what's this all about? And it showed the Prime Minister getting his vaccination, and for what I saw, they still had the lid on the vaccine, and when they got pressed in, the vaccine shouldn't press the way it pressed in. It was looked like they were forcing it in, they were forcing it and pressing it up the skin against the skin, and it did look like that, because you didn't actually see it penetrate. Because usually when it penetrates, and the pushing kind of like gives back out again, whereas this looked like it was just getting pressed in. So it was a bit. There's obviously the conspiracies are out there.
Yeah, I think let's be honest. If they're doing such a large scale conspiracy style thing, I'm sure they can come up with some.
I know.
Just put a vitamin D.
Yeah, that's what people were saying as well.
Like, why would you not put it in?
Yeah, I know.
I just think that's just a bit dicey. Look, personally, I'm a person. I'm very skeptical about this whole vaccine business, man. I will openly say it. I'm skeptical about it. I don't trust it. For whatever reason, I have it. But at the same time,
like you said yesterday, when you saw Alan's.
Yeah. And once again. Like, it's hard because we can make those comments. Alan made that, put up a status saying, about, AIDS and the common cold, there's no cure for this. But, yeah, we've already got a cure for that. But, modern medicine, who knows? They might have known that. I don't know. Worked out a strain. I don't really know. I'm not in that field, so I can't make that comment. But my point is, and I've always stood by this, is I'm pro-freedom. If you want the vaccine, we have friends who want the vaccine, get it. I have no issue. Do it, man. Like, I know people that eat McDonald's, and I think you're fucking crazy. Like, why are you eating Maccas? And are you sick in the head? Like, you eating nuclear waste? But you have the right to eat it. And I also reserve the right to not do it. And that's where the lines become blurry, because then it's like, oh, yeah, no, you don't have to get it, but you're just not going to go to the shops, schools, travel. Like, pretty much you just got to live you got to live within your four walls, and you're going to die of starvation. But you don't need the vaccine. And that's why I'm a bit like, come on, man. Like, do you not see what you're doing? Do you not see what you're doing? That's like saying, if everyone's not Catholic, you're not leaving your house. It's unfair. People deserve the right to be what they want to be. And, you see the laws of gay marriage and stuff. Like I've always said at the beginning, hey, do whatever you want, man. If you want to be gay, you are open to do whatever you want. But in saying that, when you get a bit of backlash, that's freedom. You want freedom, you get freedom. And that's what I find. That I don't like that stuff when it's unfair.
I was at the Fringe, and again with Juan, and Juan was saying that he was lining up to get some food, and there was two ladies behind him talking. He was dropping ears, and they were saying, the vaccine rolls out. Yeah, I've booked in on Wednesday. I can't wait just so I can start traveling again.
Yeah, and people they're selling their soul just to travel again. But what I would love to know is, do they tell you, once this goes in, you're allowed to book your ticket? Is that what's I haven't heard that from nobody.
Me either.
So
as far as I know, that in the States, they're actually, because they've already rolled it out in the States, they're saying that you still have to wear a mask. Yeah. You still have to social distance.
You still have to. I've heard you still have to even quarantine.
Yeah, and it's like, well, why do I get this shot?
But another thing I don't get, which is strange, and I've said it since day one, is if you've got the vaccine and I don't, and we're both flying, why are you concerned about me? I should be concerned about you, because I'm the only one who can really die. I don't have the vaccine. Yeah. You've got it, so you're fine. That's why I'm confused. Yeah. I'm like, so I need it. And then if I don't have it, but I can still kill the person who's got it,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not making sense. Yeah,
it's all
which is
blurry.
Scary, man. Yeah. We're gonna see the world is heading in a direction that is fear and warmongering, and it is, and that's why things like our podcast, like, hey, whatever, you listen to it or not, like, that's why I only listen to really podcasts and people that I think speak just from the mind. Yeah,
and it's for me, it's honest opinions.
Yeah, we're not being paid to be here.
And there's no bias. We just speak our thoughts.
Yeah, that's it, man. And we're not supporting any agendas. We've got our own thoughts. Yeah, we're guys who don't like the vaccine, but that's not because of political agendas or we're being paid to say that. But it's, so that's our personal opinion. Probably a lot of those news reporters, police officers, doctors and that, and most people are like you just said, I just want to travel again. I just want to keep my job. I don't want to lose my job. So you can put whatever you want in my body. Even if I don't know what it is, just let me please do my life. And it's, I don't know, I find that scary.
But then again, if you want to get it, it's on you.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right. Like I said from the beginning, it's on you. You want to do it, good luck to you, man. I really hope we are wrong. I really hope we are the ones who are wrong and we're just mental cases. But I unfortunately, I've looked so many ways to be wrong. I actually look for the wrong answer. I'm like, please, when people tell me they're getting the vaccine, I tell them, could you please tell me why you're getting it, and when you tell me, then I'm going to counter back to you, and I want you to give me back your information because I want you to make me wrong. Yeah. And eventually they just get to a point where they'd be like, no, I get you, man.
For me, it's I want to get to the point where if we've got two guys on both sides, they can just talk about it and just facts. Just facts. That's it, man. Facts. Not be so hard on this side and not so hard on this side. And you just... At the end of the day, you end up on the same page, and you just end up getting pissed off with each other.
Exactly. But that's the problem with the world that we live in today. A discussion in our terms is now just considered an argument. Yeah. Like me and you, we have a debate about you like ball sports. I personally don't. Well, not that I don't, but I'm sort of. Yeah. I think what I mean. They're a bit boring to me, and we can have an open discussion, and we're still friends. Yeah. We can still sit here and have a conversation. And I think the world's losing that. They're losing that ability to have a discussion, have a debate, and if you're Black Lives Pro and I'm not, it turns into a war. It's like, why is it a war, man? Why can't we just talk? Yeah. And I'll hear your side of the story and you hear mine.
Again, what happened with Sav the other day at the Fringe as well? Yeah. He had a guy just jump on him.
Yeah, that's it, man. And that's essentially according to the very concepts of life that they live by, that's deemed assault. So that man deserves now to be arrested. But then he would cry, but I was doing the right thing. Yeah. But you weren't in the confines of the law. Yeah. The very law that you stood by is now you've broken it. And you see what's happening here? Yeah. Yeah, because many religions have the right to turn around and say, don't wear your cross, man. That's offensive to me. Yeah. I'm not a Catholic. I don't believe in that. Could you please take that off? Officer, could you arrest him? And it wouldn't happen. Do you understand? It's what the majorities believe in is what's the new social norm. And it's scary, but and that I hate that sort of stuff. I really do, man. Like I said, there's a lot of things in the world I don't agree with that are happening, but I don't want to stop them. I think everybody deserves the right to be who they are. Yeah. If you're a man who wants to wear a skirt, good luck to you. If you're a woman who wants to play football, good luck to you. But like I said, at the same time, there may be backlash, and I'm not saying personally from me, but you've got to accept that you wanted freedom, and freedom comes with both sides of the fence. Yeah. Because as soon as you cut that other side off, you are just as bad as the Nazis, as the bad guys, because you are now the majority who is stopping people from doing what they want to do. Obviously things like hate crime, whatever hate crime is, but when people are hurt and assaulted and stuff, that's not on. No one deserves to kill anybody and stuff like that. That's wrong. But I think in terms of ideas and ideology, everyone deserves a right. Yeah. So I don't know. The next couple of months will be, the next couple of years are going to be crazy, man. So we'll wait and see, I guess.
And if you want to see a real sign of freedom, every Sunday 3:00, just out here.
Was that your first?
Yeah, today was the first time we come down. It was really cool.
Yeah. No, it's a cool, a lot of people come to me, your brother, he's crazy out there. And I'm like, yeah, he's a nutter, but man, at the end of the day, he's just doing what he loves. Yeah. He just likes to play his guitar, in the driveway. It's no difference to playing in your lounge room. Mm-hmm. He just chooses to do it in his driveway,
he allows other people to see what he's good at.
Essentially, it's a community-based service, which. Once again, I mean, if he was making millions of dollars and he, these morons that you're seeing like Justin Bieber and that doing, everyone's like, oh my God, he's great. Who's that guy? Harry Styles. Mm-hmm. I think he wears dresses now when he sings and stuff. He wears very feminine clothing, but to him, he's cool. He's cool. He's great. Then you see a guy like my brother, who's supposedly crazy and an idiot because he's in his jogs. But as soon as they put him on the TV and make him famous, that's what everyone's going to do. Man, that is so cool. I want to be like Sub. But when it's not on TV and it's not trending and it's not making millions of dollars, you're just a loser. Yeah. And they're like, That's why I don't bother with
I
that.
kind of feel
TV.
if it went that way with Sav will kind of hate it.
Yeah, Sav would. Sav's not a guy. But Sav's not a guy, and he always openly says that. And one of the great things he says is, I know rock and roll's not going to make any money. It's dead. Rock and roll's finished. You're not going to become. But I play rock and roll because I love it, not because I know there's monetary value at the end of it. So that's why I sort of like, good on you, man. Like, not enough people do that anymore. People literally just living by the dollar. Like, literally, they'll like we said before, once again, to the vaccine. I will take the vaccine just to keep my job, because I don't want to lose my mortgage, my big house, my nice car. I'm selling out for money, and so it's sad, but we'll wait and see, man. Let's hope this vaccine is what it is, and everyone's fixed and cured, and the world goes great again, as when we're all living free again. But I don't see it happening. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and Sav mentioned it last night. Mentioned it again. DM us if you got any questions you want us to answer. Because Sav he did want to email in, but he was just
that's it, guys. You got any questions? You can hit our personal accounts. You can hit the from the inside Instagram and Facebook account. Ask any questions. We'd love to answer your questions. And anyone who wants to come on the show, hit us up, man.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't always have to be an interview-based thing. You can just sit on the show and have a conversation. And we're not going to have everyone on that messages, so you don't feel rude if we don't get everyone on. But yeah, there's people who've been asking, and we'd love to have some faces on it and to get different opinions.
Yeah.
I'd love to have someone on here who even is pro for the vaccine. I'd love to hear their side of the story, because
even if you are pro-vaccine, don't be intimidated.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not going to jump down your throat. Like I said, you deserve the right.
We'll just make sure Lee is in here.
Yeah, that's it. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Another hot week. Like I said, it wasn't a huge week in MMA and in combat, but there was some cool local shows. Well done to everyone who competed on Diamondback, from the jiu-jitsu, wrestling, every event, MMA, kickboxing. I was very impressed with all of yous, and I loved the way the sport's heading. So keep on punching on, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Cool, done.